Guys, Brady here, and I feel like talking about Godzilla again because it's coming out on Blu-ray next week, Tuesday, September 16th. Um, I'd just like to say a few more things, and also prove people wrong that it's not Jaws. People are people, yeah, people keep comparing this movie to Jaws. Like, oh, you didn't see the shark that much in Jaws. Well, in Jaws, at least you knew it was the shark that was doing all these things. In Godzilla, you have three monsters, and they keep setting you up to think that, oh, it's Godzilla. No, it's not Godzilla. It's Martha, whatever the fuck their names are. So at least Jaws had the balls to tell you that it was the shark. Not Jaws didn't have a helper. Godzilla had a helper to destroy the cities, even though he was the villain. And well, not really the villain. He was more or less the anti-hero of the new Godzilla movie. And people are like, well, in the 50s version of Godzilla, you barely saw him. Well, here's the difference between the 50s version and this version. The 50s version is 96 minutes long. They showed him um, as much as they can within its 96-minute runtime, which was great. But when you have a 2-hour movie based on Godzilla, and you only show him for, Screen Junkies said, well, on his trailer said 11 minutes and 16 seconds. That's not good. And considering how the title is called Godzilla, not Godzilla or versus whatever those flying things were. I don't know. But yeah, I just like to put that out there and convey a point about, don't compare this to the original, because the original was a half hour shorter, and they did what they could with the original. They showed him enough to fill its 96 minutes, which was great because you saw him longer. You saw him in a longer period of time than this movie. Like, the thing that pissed me off about this movie, and I liked Godzilla, but it had its problems. The thing that pissed me off was this one scene where Godzilla comes out of the water, grabs the San Francisco Bridge. I think it was San Francisco Bridge. Grabs it and like tilts it just like a tiny inch, and then goes back underneath the water. And you don't see him till maybe 30 minutes later. And I was like, really? You're gonna tease us like that? Show him for maybe not even a minute, and then have him go back underneath the water? That was my problem. They showed you, even though you saw Godzilla, you only see him for like a brief minute, not even sometimes. Although the older Godzilla, even though you didn't see him that much, you saw him for a big period of time. Like when Godzilla was smashing shit in the 50s version, he was on there for like 10 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes, which is perfect for a Godzilla movie. But when Godzilla is just there to appear to grab the San Francisco Bridge and then go back underneath the water, that is not cool. And then 80% is the, well, other creatures, I guess. But I mean, I liked Godzilla. It just had problems. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was a great movie, but it was also disappointing at the same time. Like, I hate how they set up for a scene. It's like, oh, I bet that's Godzilla that's about to wreck that thing. And then they show you what the creature is. Like, really? Really? Just take those creatures out of the movie and call it, and bring Godzilla. It's like walking into the Dark Knight and thinking, no. It's like, no, not the Dark Knight. It's like, really, you want to see the hero more than the villain. It's like having the Dark Knight, although the Dark Knight was great. Not showing Batman all that much. It's just showing Joker throughout the whole movie, is destroying stuff and blowing up buildings and putting pencils through people's heads throughout the whole movie. And then you see Batman like for 5 minutes throughout the whole 2.5-hour movie. No, they showed Batman a shit ton of times, which was great. But Godzilla, 2 hours, 2 minutes of a movie with only 11 minutes of Godzilla. Not even 12. But, yeah. the Avengers, although Bruce Banner only turned into the Hulk twice, he was the Hulk for like the last half hour or hour of the movie, which is phenomenal. But that's not really a good point. Um, I forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah, just don't compare this to Jaws. It is not Jaws. It's like comparing. You know what? It's like comparing The Hurt Locker to Saving Private Ryan. They're both war movies, which are take place. No, I'll shut up. This is going nowhere. But I just got a little aggravated when people said, "Well, Jaws didn't show the shark that much." Jaws didn't show the shark that much because Steven Spielberg's camera didn't work. Like, no, I mean, the shark didn't work, so he had to use his camera for the movie, which is great. It added to the suspense, and he knew it was the shark the whole time. And then when you finally saw the shark at the end, it paid off big time. I mean, you see him, like every 5 minutes the shark would pop up towards the end of the movie. Like every 5 minutes you see him like pop up for a great amount of time. But in Godzilla, he only pops up for less than a minute. And then the end was actually probably one of the best parts where he breathes, what's it called? No, it's not radioactive. It's whatever. Blows that fire thing into that creature's mouth, and then you see like the hole in his mouth, and then that neck just falls off into the water. That was pretty cool. And then how he grabbed that creature and like made his neck go piercing through the building. That was pretty cool. I would have liked to see more Godzilla. The movie was great, but I would have liked to see a little more Godzilla than we did. Hopefully, when they do a new Godzilla, hopefully for Godzilla 2, they show more of him. That'd be great. Not just show him for a brief minute and then go to the next scene.